Good morning, and thank you for joining me on another episode where I take a book and from that book I find a bar. Now, a bar is a short, valuable nugget of information for us to feed our minds. This is
Breakfast Bars! Breakfast Bars!
Breakfast Bars! This is Breakfast Bars!
Good morning and welcome back to another episode of Breakfast Bars, where we focus on feeding our minds one bar at a time. After yesterday's episode, I thought, you know what? Screw it. Let's keep it going with Dave Asprey. Kind of the purpose of reading books is getting a different, unique perspective on things, not from mainstream media, but from people who dedicate their lives. And don't get me wrong, people have, different motives for doing things. They want to grow their businesses, whatever the case may be. Can't knock them for that, but their motives and their influence of outside sources on the information they put out is dramatically less than what you see on TV. And I enjoy that. I enjoy not trying to follow the herd, not being a sheep, and just taking in what everybody else is taking in. So through me, this podcast, through the books I read, I want to bridge that gap and give you some of that for yourself, even in small doses. So we're going to stick with Dave Asprey, his other book, Superhuman. He's got another book, Game Changers. Actually don't have that one, but this book's Superhuman. So Dave Asprey is all about health, all about biohacking, like you heard from yesterday's podcast. And his goal is to live to be 180. So he wants to figure out how to do that, and is using himself as the guinea pig. And he's got a whole Upgrade Labs, a whole bunch of different little businesses that he is using on himself to achieve that goal, and ultimately be a superhuman for no matter how long we are here. So this was a great book as well. It takes it more into the longevity aspect rather than just a diet, if you will, in the Bulletproof Diet. So the subtitle here is a bulletproof plan to age backward and maybe even live forever. So let's go ahead and dive in and see what we find. Okay. So this bar is from a chapter that was completely new to me. Never heard about it anywhere else talked about. And after reading this chapter, it really made me think about the importance of this. So, this is talking about the chapter, Your Teeth Are a Window to the Nervous System. Let's see, let me get a little background here. Okay, so he was at a conference where there happened to be lots of dentists. And he asked the dentist, he said this dentist had the most perfect set of straight white teeth he had ever seen. And this dentist asked, why would you drive a Lexus if you haven't invested at least that much on your teeth, which control your whole nervous system? Your teeth control your whole nervous system. So that's the bar. I'm going to go into that a little more in depth in a second. But there is, let me see if I can find it in here. There's a nerve. I can't find the exact nerve, but there's a nerve in your mouth that, depending on your bite, if one side of your teeth is hitting before the other, if you have an underbite, overbite, that can actually trigger a fight or flight response every time you bite. Think about how many times we bite. Chew gum, eat food, grind your teeth, whatever it is. they call it neurological dentistry, which, have you ever heard of neurological dentistry before? No. I guarantee half the dentists don't even know what that is. But there's a nerve that can trigger your fight or flight response, which, if it triggers either of those, that's producing more stress hormone. So even something as simple as having a bite that is off can negatively impact your neurology, your neural system, the neurotransmitters firing, and that affects your whole body. And so there's another little thing I had underlined here that says you can meditate and do yoga all day long, but if your bite is still triggering a stress response, you are screwed. So it's just interesting that I never heard of this before. I've talked to people who have a dental background. They've never heard of it before. But clearly one dentist has. But it makes me wonder, did he learn that in school? My inkling is no. In dental school, he did not learn that, because otherwise you'd be hearing that from the majority of dentists, if not all of them. So with that bar, I want to elaborate on the point that it is up to you to seek out various information from various different sources, thinking through it about, okay, where did this person learn that information from? Where they learned it from, what was the purpose for that institution, that resource, to give that information? What was influencing that institution, that resource, that person, that company to give that information versus other information, or maybe leave out some information? Because he says here, why would you drive a Lexus if you haven't even invested at least that much on your teeth, which control your whole nervous system? And the teeth is just one aspect. I'm just using this bar to hit home the bigger point of, I guess, take an assessment of your priorities. If you're driving a Lexus but haven't invested that much into yourself, that's the most important thing. So obviously the teeth are apparently a really big portion of yourself, but what are you doing to actually invest in yourself? Obviously there's, money that can be spent to do that, but even less than that, there's going for a walk, going for a run, things that are free. It's not all about money. Money can help you get a little further with investing into yourself. LeBron James, I'm going to get the number wrong, but it's at least $1 million every single year he invests into his body. Obviously, his body is the one that allows him to make millions and millions and millions, multiple millions of dollars. But to me, you don't have to be a millionaire to invest into yourself. What else do you have? You only have yourself. You only have your body. And to be superhuman, you got to invest into yourself. So whether it's your teeth, whether it's your mind, your body in general, invest into yourself. Stay blessed. Thank you again for tuning in to another episode. Just a reminder, you can find Breakfast Bars on iTunes, YouTube, and Instagram by searching Breakfast Bars. On Instagram, it's at breakfast.bars. Would mean a lot to me if you left me a review, subscribed, follow, and of course, if you find value in Breakfast Bars, if you like hearing them daily, go ahead and please share it with a friend, someone you know that wants to receive some daily bars.